One thing that can really make your ex regret breaking up, and even sometimes push them to the point where they ask you to get back together, is the fear that they're going to lose you forever. Because if your ex is terrified that you're going to move on quickly, if they lie in bed at night trying to suppress their feelings of anxiety at the thought of you with somebody new, they'll often panic and decide to take you back before that becomes reality. So if your ex is definitely the one for you, and you're determined to get a second chance and start over with them, then I urge you to watch to the end and learn how to make your ex feel that overwhelming sense of fear at the idea of losing you. Let's get into it. First off, I want to share some facts about what was likely going on in your ex's mind before, during, and after the breakup. Because in order to understand how and why fear can lead them to take you back, you really need to know their mindset and their thought process. So I'm going to assume, for the sake of simplicity, that your ex dumped you. So in other words, it was their choice to end the relationship, not yours. However, a lot of this still applies even if you were the one to initiate the breakup and you've since changed your mind. Or if your breakup was mutual, or at least at first. Now, the first thing to understand, and this is based off my 14 plus years as a breakup coach, working with tens of thousands of clients in situations like yours, is that most people are never truly confident in their decision to end a relationship. Of course, your ex probably had or has, logical reasons why they felt it was time to go your separate ways. Maybe it was just one specific thing, like you were, too clingy and controlling. Or maybe it was a bunch of little things that added up over time and led your ex to a breaking point. But whatever the specific details were for your ex and your breakup, the fact remains, it's almost certain that your ex was never truly sure that breaking up was going to be the right choice. They weren't 100% confident that they'd be happier and better off without you in their life. And while I'm sure they had an idea of, what life without you would be like, they had some preconceived notions about what being single would be like, how their life would change, how difficult it would be to get over you. But there was always an element of unknown and a lingering sense of doubt in the back of your ex's mind. What if they miss you more than they expect? What if they can't find somebody to replace you? Or what if they realize you were actually right for them in the first place? What if they come to realize, that the positive aspects of you and your relationship actually outweigh the problems and the reasons that led to them wanting to break up? Well, in my experience, these are almost universal thoughts of doubt that will be festering in the back of really anyone's mind when they're planning to end a relationship. Now, your ex may hide these feelings extremely well. They may give off, a sense of total determination and seem to be 100% confident in their decision. But for most of you watching, your ex will have worried that, just maybe they might have been making a mistake in breaking up. But anyway, the point here is simple. Because your ex had, and probably still has, these lingering doubts hovering around in the back of their mind, there's already a seed of doubt here. And that's what you need to tap into in order to make them fear losing you enough that they cave in and ask you to take them back. And finally, you also need to understand that your ex expects you to do certain things and act in a certain way in the weeks and months after the breakup. They expect you to be heartbroken and to struggle to cope, maybe to beg and plead and try to convince them to take you back. And most importantly, they expect you to wait around and be there for them if they later decide, that breaking up was the wrong decision after all. And this is why a lot of people will try to talk their ex into keeping a friendship alive after the breakup. And it's why, even though they may appear to be, outwardly fully committed and determined to stick to a permanent breakup, they will still usually reach out to you and try to stay in contact. They may even act like nothing has really changed and continue to expect you to, hang out with them or call them every day. Even if it's on a subconscious level, and it often is, they want to keep all the benefits of being in a relationship with you while working on moving on and with their life and, finding somebody new. So basically, for at least 90% of breakup situations, your ex is going to hope and expect you to stick around and remain a backup option for them. They hope and expect that you'll serve as a safety blanket and continue to talk regularly and be there for them as they slowly adjust to life without you. So as you may have guessed, the key here is not to do what your ex is expecting of you, to not agree to be friends, to not stick around and continue to be part of their life as they adapt to the single life, to sort of act as though you're emotionally unfazed by the breakup, by the thought of life without them, and to start moving on quickly. Because you see, when your ex's worst fears begin to come true, when they realize you aren't going to be willing to drop everything and come running back to them the second they decide to change their mind, that's when they're going to begin to feel the sense of panic. On a more practical level, there are a few things that you need to do in order to begin creating this feeling of fear in the back of your ex's mind. So number one is to give them way more space than they expect. Now, I'm not going to preach the benefits of no contact here again. You've probably heard all about no contact in other videos before. But I will say the more that you distance yourself from your ex, especially if it's soon after the breakup, without announcing your intentions, the more that your ex is going to be surprised and concerned. Again, they expect you to be around and continue to answer their texts and calls whenever they feel a bit lonely or miss you. So by engaging in no contact, or at least, giving them plenty of space, you're throwing their expectations out of the window. You've planted the seed of doubt and made them question whether you really will be sticking around as a backup plan or a crutch to help them slowly learn to live a life without you. And furthermore, giving your ex plenty of space also forces their mind to wander, to make up possible explanations, why you've suddenly gone quiet and made no attempts to reach out or talk to them. And this creates a sense of mystery and intrigue, which is something that I'm actually going to make a separate video on sometime soon. But really, in short, it's always good to leave your ex guessing at what you're up to and why you're not continuing to contact them. All right, and number two is act emotionally unaffected. Now, this one is really simple. Just by hiding your true emotions, not showing your ex how the breakup is affecting you emotionally, you once again upend your ex's expectations and make them worry that you're stronger than they thought. They'll worry that, and again, counter to their perceived idea of how things might go after the breakup, that you're not that heartbroken and you're not that upset about the thought of life without them. Now, not only does this, sort of shift the balance of power in your favor, it also forces them to worry that you'll quickly move on and you'll soon be unavailable, should they change their mind about breaking up. And that ties in nicely with the next item, number three, which is to get on with a busy, interesting, and socially active life. Now, I can't stress how important this is. No matter what the details are of your specific breakup, you must avoid sitting around on the couch all day in your sweatpants. You need to get out there as soon as you can stomach it and get back to just living life. So don't give up on your hobbies or put your life on pause. In fact, do the opposite. Seize the opportunity and use the new free time you have now that you're not in a relationship anymore. Now, my coaching clients often scoff at this idea when I suggest it because, on the surface, it sounds so pointless. How will signing up for a pottery class or joining a hiking club, how's that going to make your ex take you back? But I promise you, it is way more important than it seems on the surface. Because not only are you going to fill your time with productive, positive activities, you're also going to show your ex that you don't need them to live a fun, interesting, and successful life. You'll demonstrate that you're capable of thriving without them and that your life is about a lot more than just your relationship. And you'll also inevitably make your ex feel, a bit of FOMO. When they learn then, what you're up to and how busy and interesting your daily routine is, even though you're no longer part of it, they can't help but feel a pang of jealousy that they're missing out on all that fun stuff that you're doing. And lastly, you'll create, meaningful stories to share with your ex once you do reconnect. So no matter how much you might feel like lying in bed all day, staring at the ceiling, waiting for your ex to text you, just do the opposite. Don't give up on any shared activities you used to do with your ex, like, group classes or watching your favorite TV show or whatever. Stay connected with your own friends and any mutual friends that you share with your ex as well. And finally, number 4, go on some dates, or at the very least, just hang out with members of the opposite sex. Now, this is the toughest one to actually pull off, but it's also one of the most impactful when it comes to making your ex fear losing you. The sooner you can line up just some casual dates, or even, like I said, just hang out with members of the opposite sex as friends, the better. You don't need to broadcast the news to the whole world because usually your ex will hear about your dating life somehow. And you also, don't need to sleep with everyone you go on a date with or even pursue a relationship with them. Just put yourself out there, get a profile up on some dating apps, and have some fun with it. Jealousy is a seriously powerful emotion, especially if your ex is, the type to get jealous when you were still together. And this is one of the most effective ways to show your ex that you're not waiting around for them, that you're highly desirable and that you're, sought after by the opposite sex, and that you're going to have no problem replacing them should they fail to quickly smarten up and take you back. So, as you've probably gathered by this point, everything that I've talked about so far in this video is really designed to ensure that your ex feels the maximum pressure to take you back quickly or risk losing you forever. And although you may be skeptical right now, you may be thinking that this breakup was, what your ex really wanted in the first place, so they're not going to care that you're moving on or that they might soon lose any chance to change their mind. But I promise you that a sense of urgency and that fear of not being able to get back together with you because, you're quickly moving on can often be enough by itself to force your ex to cave in and ask you to take them back. I've honestly seen this happen countless times for my coaching clients, even when they were the ones who initiated the original breakup or, when their ex seemed dead set on actually having a permanent breakup. Now, of course, I can't promise you that creating this sense of fear and urgency will make your ex change their mind and take you back, but I can promise you that it will maximize their lingering feelings of doubt and those worries in the back of their mind. I can also promise you that it will make you look good in the eyes of your ex, make you look, as attractive and desirable as possible, and give you the very best chance of starting over with them in a new and healthier relationship. So really, the moral of the story is simple. Do the unexpected. Ensure your ex knows that you're not sitting around waiting for them to call or text you. And make sure that you actually tap into those underlying doubts and worries that the breakup, might be permanent before they've fully committed to it in their own mind. If you guys have any questions or you need help applying any of this advice to your, unique or unusual breakup situation, please consider signing up for my very affordable one-on-one coaching program at breakupbrad.com/coaching. On that page, you'll see my current availability and all the details. And when you register today, we'll start working together to ensure that you get your ex back before it's too late. Again, all the info and the sign-up form is at breakupbrad.com/coaching. All right, guys, I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or you want to share your story, leave them in the comments below and I'll read it as soon as I can. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks for watching to the bitter end here, and I'll see you again soon.